math, walang maiiwan. Math-sayang Math-aral tayo ng Math-tuto, upang ika'y umasenso. Maging matyaga, maging matalino, halina Math-aral na tayo. Maging matyaga, maging matalino, halina Math-aral na tayo. Halina Math-aral na tayo. Halina Math-aral na tayo. Halina, 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 Math-aral na tayo.
Isang math-saya at math-gandang araw sa lahat ng ating mga grade 5 learners at home learning partners. Nagbabalik po tayo dito sa Project SOAR Quarter 4, Week 6 Advanced Lessons. Buksan ang puso't isipan sa panibagong aralin. Para samahan tayo ngayon mga bata, our lecturer graduated at Philippine Normal University, Isabela Campus, with a degree in Bachelor of Elementary Education. He is currently our Teacher 3 at Doña Basilisa Yanco Elementary School, teaching mathematics for 12 years. He is also our school math coordinator, grade 5 and 6 math teacher, Division CLAID Module writer in Math grade 4, and Division MTAP trainer. Batang MANDunong, halina't matuto! Sa grade 5 math lesson kasama si Mr. ALDIN JOHN Z. Lacaden.
Magandang araw sa lahat ng ating mga home learning partners, mga guro, mga batang mandunong. Welcome sa ating Project SOAR. Ako si Ginoong ALDIN JOHN Lacaden. Maaari mo akong tawaging Teacher ALDIN. Guro sa Doña Basilisa Yanco Elementary School, at ako ang inyong makakasama para sa aralin sa grade 5 sa linggong ito. Tara na! Tayo nang matuto! So we are now in Quarter 4, Week 6. Our topic is experimental probability. Here are our competencies. Describes experimental probability, performs an experimental probability and records result by listing, and solving routine and non-routine problems involving experimental probability. Alright, so before we start with our lesson, let's review first. Read and interpret the graph. Answer the questions that follow. Here is the graph. Are you ready? What is the title of the line graph? That's right. The title of the line graph is all about school books. So question number 2. What information is found in the y-axis? Very good. The information found in the y-axis is the number of books. Question number 3. How many pupils choose mathematics books? That's correct. There are 80 pupils choose mathematics books. Question number 4. How many more mathematics books than English books were borrowed? You're right. 20 more mathematics books.
What is the average number of books borrowed? That's correct. 80 books.
Okay, so let's now proceed to lesson 1. Describing experimental probability. Let us define first what is a probability. A probability tells us how likely something is to happen or occur. This is used to make predictions on possible outcomes based on the data. Probability can be written as ratio, fraction, or percent. Let us take a look at the probability line. It's a number line that goes from 0 to 1. When an event is certain, the probability is 1 or 100%. When an event is not possible, the probability is 0. That's why the probability line only goes from 0 to 1. When an event is 50%, the probability is even chance, or as likely as it is not to happen. Just like flipping a coin, it's 50% head and 50% tail. When an event is less than 1/2, the probability is unlikely to happen. Just like rolling a die, 1 in 6 chance only. That's why it's unlikely to happen. When an event is more than 1/2, the probability is likely to happen. Just like picking blue balls with 4 in 5 chance, the probability is likely to happen. An experiment is any procedure that can be infinitely repeated and has a well-defined set of possible outcomes. Here are the examples: flipping a coin, picking cards, rolling a dice, and spinning a wheel. When we repeat a random experiment several times, we call each one of them a trial. Thus, a trial is a particular performance of random experiment, just like below. The experiment is called rolling a die, and there are 6 trials. Each trial results in one or more outcomes. In this experiment, the results are 7, 6, 14, 4, 6, and 5. The experimental probability of an event can be found by conducting repeated trials. It is a ratio of number of times an event actually occurred to the number of trials or times you performed the activity. So here is the formula. Experimental probability is equal to the number of times event occurs over total number of trials. For you to understand well, let us take this example. Alvin and Joseph are rolling a die. Alvin takes one of it, records, and put it back in the box. He tried it 10 times. The following are the results: 2, 4, 6, 5, 1, 5, 5, 1, 4, and 3. What is the experimental probability of rolling a 6? 6 occurred once out of 10 trials. So the experimental probability of rolling a 6 is 1 out of 10 or 1/10. 1 stands for number of times 6 appears, and 10 is the total number of trials. What is the experimental probability of rolling a 5? 5 occurred 3 out of 10 trials. So the experimental probability of rolling a 5 is 3/10. 3 numbers of times 5 appears, and 10 is the total number of trials. What is the experimental probability of rolling a 4? 4 occurred 2 out of 10 trials. So the experimental probability of rolling a 4 is 2 out of 10, or we can simplify it as 1/5. 2 stands for the number of times 4 appears, and 10 is the number or the total number of trials. We just simplify 2/10 to make it 1/5. Okay, so let's apply what we have learned. The table shows the results of a probability of marble experiment. In this marble experiment, we have 2 columns, the outcome and the number. And we have 3 colors, red, yellow, and black. How many trials of picking a marble were made? Based on the table, to get how many trials of picking a marble were made, we just simply add 10 plus 8 plus 2. So what is the answer? That's correct. So there are 20 trials made in the marble experiment. How many times the yellow marbles were picked? That's right. So there are 8 times the yellow marbles picked. What is the experimental probability of picking yellow marbles? Very good. So the answer is 8/20 or 2/5. Next question. How many times the black marbles were picked? That's right. 2 times the black marbles were picked. And for the last question, what is the experimental probability of picking black marbles? Very good. That is 2 out of 20 or 1/10. Great job! Okay, so let's try to understand the next activity. Each of 11 letters of the word mathematics is written on a separate card. The cards are placed face down and shuffled. A card is chosen at random. What is the probability that it will show each of the following? The letter M, the letter A, and the letter S. Let us try to answer the probability of picking the letter M. What is the probability of picking a letter M? That's correct. The answer is 2/11, which is 2 is the favorable outcomes. In the word mathematics, there are 2 letter M, and 11 is the total possible outcomes. How about the probability of picking the letter A? The probability of picking a letter A is 2/11. which means that 2 is the favorable outcomes. There are 2 letter A's in the word mathematics, and 11 is the total possible outcomes. And the last, the probability of letter S. What is the probability of picking the letter S? That's correct, 1/11, which means that 1 is the favorable outcomes, that there is only one letter S in the word mathematics, and 11 is the total possible outcomes. Great job! Let us remember, an experimental probability is the ratio between the number of times the event occurs and the total number of trials or times the activity is performed. Thus, the formula, experimental probability is equal to the number of times the event occurs over the total number of trials. So let's now proceed to lesson number 2, performing an experimental probability and records result by listing. In this activity, you're going to need your ballpen and your math notebook. Okay, so let's start. Here is a spinner. Spin the pointer 20 times and record the results below.
Ready, set, go!
Here is now the result of the experiment. In number 1, we have 2. Number 2, we have 6. And number 3 is 8. And number 4 is 4. So let's get the total. Number 1, 2. Number 2 is 6. 3 is 8. And 4 is 4. Now, let's get the probability of each number. In number 1, the probability is 2/20, or reduce it to 1/10. Number 2, the probability of number 2 is 6/20, or we reduce it 3/10. And number 3, the probability is 8/20, or 2/5. And number 4, the probability of number 4 is 4/20, or 1/5. Great job! Okay, so let's now proceed to lesson number 3, solving routine and non-routine problems involving experimental probability. Let's try to understand. A dice is rolled and a coin is tossed simultaneously for 10 times. The outcomes are given in the table below. Find the experimental probability of getting a 2 and a head together. So let us take a look at the table. So there are 10 trials. 3 of the trials are 2 and a head. So that is trial number 3, trial number 6, and trial number 9. Since there are 10 trials and the head and a 2 occurs 3 times, the probability of getting a head and a 2 is, that's correct, 3/10. Let's proceed to the next activity, which is let's apply. A basket contains 20 yellow candies, 15 purple candies, 10 red candies, and 12 green candies. Each time a candy was picked, it was returned to the basket. After 15 trials, a yellow candy was picked 5 times. Find the experimental probability of getting a yellow candy. Let's try to answer. What is asked in the problem? The experimental probability of getting yellow candy. Then what are the given facts? After 15 trials, a yellow candy was picked 5 times. Let us use the formula and substitute. Number of times the yellow candy was picked over the total number of trials. So the number of times the yellow candy was picked and the total number of trials is 5 over 15. Or simplify it, it will become 1/3. So let's now state the complete answer. The experimental probability of getting yellow candy is 1/3. Okay, then let's now proceed to the next problem. A spinner numbered 1 to 5 is spun. What is the probability of spinning an odd number? What is asked in the problem? What are the given facts? Use the formula and substitute, and state the complete answer. What is asked in the problem? The probability of spinning an odd number. What are the given facts? Spinner number 1 to 5 and odd number. Use the formula and substitute. Favorable outcome over total possible outcome. In the given numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, so the odd numbers are 1, 3, and 5. Therefore, the probability is 3 over 5 or 3/5. Let us now state the complete answer. The experimental probability of spinning an odd number is 3/5. Great job! This time, let's have a simple question and answer activity. I will give you some math problems about probability. In 5 seconds, write your answer in your notebook. Are you ready? Let's start with this problem number 1. A die is rolled 10 times. 3 of those times, you get a 5. What is the experimental probability of rolling a 5? Go! If your answer is 3/10, you are correct. Number 2. A coin is flipped and get ahead 30 out of 50 trials. What is the experimental probability of flipping ahead the next time around? Go! If your answer is 3/5, then you are correct. Question number 3. A die is thrown 60 times, out of which 3 appears 30 times. Find the experimental probability of getting the number 3. Go! The correct answer is 30 over 60 or 1/2. If your answer is 1/2, you are correct. Problem number 4. A box contains 15 red balls, 12 blue balls, and 13 green balls. Find the experimental probability of not getting a green ball. Go! If your answer is 27 out of 40, then you are correct. And number 5. If a coin tossed 15 times, head appears 5 times. Find the experimental probability of getting a head. Go! If your answer is 5 over 15 or 1/3, then you are correct. Great job! Two dice are rolled 8 times and the total number of dots added up. Below are the outcomes of the sum. 4, 10, 7, 5, 8, 9, 3, and 8. What is the experimental probability that the sum is greater than 5? Go! So the correct answer is 5/8. Number 2. What is the experimental probability that the face with 1 and 4 dots appear? Go! The correct answer is 1/8. What is the experimental probability that the sum is 8? Go! The correct answer is 2/8 or 1/4. Good job! Question number 4. What is the experimental probability that the sum is an even number? Go! the answer is 4/8 or 1/2. That's great! And last, what is the experimental probability that the sum is an odd number? Go! So the correct answer is 4/8 or 1/2. You are correct. Great job, grade 5. That's the end of our lesson today. I hope you enjoyed and learned. Goodbye! Maraming salamat sa inyong panunood. Muli, ako si Teacher Aldin na nagsasabing, Math-sayang Math-aral, tayo nang matuto para maging matalino.